Warrior football. True Warrior football. True Warrior football.
You are listening to True Warrior Football Podcast with your host, Corey Kid Smith.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm your host, Corey Kid Smith. You're watching another great episode of True Warrior Football, and man, it's a great time to be a Warren Central Warrior. Our Warriors took care of business. Friday night was a game that we needed. We came out, we produced, and it was an interesting game against Perry Meridian. For a while in kickoffs, or not kickoff, pregame, I kept looking at them like, man, are we going up against, are they the Falcons? Or because, man, these guys are like the Carolina Panthers in their jerseys. But it was a good game for us. We'll get into that. It's a 43-7 win, first sectional championship that we've won since 2020. Good. I feel real good about the team. What we did on Friday night was good. We had one bad moment, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But to really get into the game here, defensively, we just played phenomenal ball once again, as we knew we had to do coming into the game. Because, like I said, time and time again, our goals for this season is much greater than beating up on Perry and Southport. Much greater than that. Much, much greater than that. We want to be kings of the state. And for us to be that, we had to step up and do what we did against a team like Perry Meridian, and that's, what we did. And so, yeah, another first half shutout. I think we went 7 quarters. Really, defensively, we haven't given up a touchdown in the playoffs so far. They had I'll get into that later. But defensively, we haven't given up any scores so far. That's to be expected against the teams that we've played. Offensively, I want to say pick right back up where they left off against Southport. Donis Adams, once again, was phenomenal. He had he had one passing touchdown, had, I want to say, 2 or 3 more called back due to penalties. But really, our running game this past Friday night was spectacular. Chris Jordan got us off. I think he had 2 first half touchdown runs. Ronald Baskerville was amazing once again. Had I want to say it was about it was at least 60-yard rushing touchdown that he had. And then the guy that's been he touched the ball in as many ways as he possibly could. Demarion Harris had a tremendous game once again for us. And I sit there and watch our team. We did all this, and it's just really, really good to get our offense to the point where we always knew it should be at. And the main guy I'm waiting for, Rodney Johnson, has been out. Hopefully he's back this week and ready to go. But when we have all of our guys going, man. Earlier this season, I said, the thing we need to get back to, we need to get back to pounding that ball. Got to get back to it. And I feel like this week we really did a very great job of doing such a thing. And, our team has stepped up to play. And I talked about the 2 touchdown runs from Chris Jordan, and Adonis has just been great for us. The touchdown catch or touchdown pass that Adonis threw to Keith Jackson Jr. I'm not sure if that was the second quarter or if that was, I can't remember where in the game it was, but it was just an absolute amazing pass from Adonis, and Keith just makes a great Moss-style catch over the defender and looks at him like, you see that Simpson meme where Principal Skinner is looking at him, looking down on the kid in the word pathetic? That's what Keith Jackson did right there. But that's beating up on those guys is great. It's fun. But that's not our main goals for the season should be. No, not by any means. Not by any means at all. So we had those scores right there. Damari Harris added a touchdown later in the game, but I think the play of the game, I think everybody loved. And just when I watched it live, I'm like, this is incredible. Devin Holman's punt return for a touchdown was truly, truly special. Truly, truly special. And, poor guy, he was exhausted after it. But it's almost similar to his punt return for a touchdown against Pike. And, he cuts one way, evades some tacklers, and basically back on the other sideline, does a little. Look, Devin Holman with the ball in his hands is special. I knew JoJo could be special with the ball in his hands, and he showed that in a few games that he's played in this year. But Devin Holman, what he's been able to do when he gets his hands on the football is special. He has the defensive touchdown against King. He has, I want to say, 2 more touchdowns against. He has 2 more touchdowns. He had one against Ben Davis, one against Carmel. He had the punt return for a touchdown against Pike. He had the interception return for a touchdown against Pike as well. And then these 2 past weeks, he's had 2 more punt return touchdowns. The kid's special. The kid is special in playing some absolutely great football for us late when we need it. And he reminds me of a guy that used to play football for us named Josh Bailey. And Josh Bailey, in the 2004 championship run that we went on, was a playmaker. Every single game, he was out there making plays. And it all culminated in the state championship game. Him and Dexter Taylor hooked up on a 99-yard touchdown pass. And it was big play after big play all season long for him. Big play against Ben Davis, big play against LC at LC. That was an interception return for a touchdown as well for him. I mean, I still feel like to this day, Josh Bailey should have won Mr. Football after that season, after that great run he had late in the season to get us another state championship. And Devin Holman is having a great run of his own, and our team, our defense especially, is feeding off of it. So I love what we have done so far in these games. But once again, we're done playing the Southports and the Perrys. Now it's time for us to really make our bones. Now it's time for us to really show that we are Warren Central, and that when we play Warren Central style football for 4 quarters, it doesn't matter what these other teams do. It doesn't matter, it just doesn't matter who they have. When we play Warren Central football for 4 quarters, it doesn't matter. And so now we go back to where the season all began. Center Grove. And unfortunately, we had to do it without one of our key players. And that guy, I love Olin's fieriness. I love the way that he, gets our O-line and everybody else on offense going. Fieriness got to him. The play, the incident that happened in the game, I truly believe was an accident, but it's something that we have to deal with. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody has to be that replacement for a key senior on our offensive line in the biggest game of the season. And it's a game where really they've been looking towards this game for, I hate to say it, did they overlook Cathedral? I won't say they overlooked Cathedral. They definitely knew that this game was going to happen. Everybody knew this game was going to happen. We were in a sectional where we were favored to win by astronomical odds. Like, everybody knew they were going to win their sectional and we were going to win ours. And the only thing we didn't know was where the game was going to be held at. We won our 2 playoff games by a total of 101-7. They struggled. Franklin Central gave them a battle. They probably should have lost that game. 14-10 they won. They had their way with Columbus North, but Columbus North ain't us. And so those guys know that we're coming. Because we put teams on notice. I hate to say our offense is completely different with Adonis because it makes me feel like I'm downplaying the great play we've had from Keith Jackson Jr., KJ2, all season. And it's not that. Our offense has really, truly taken it up a notch. And whether or not that's all because, Adonis is a bigger quarterback or because Adonis is more experienced. But regardless, our team was talented. We just hadn't fully reached that potential yet. And I feel like right now, we are on a really good path to getting to the place where we need to be, where we want to be. We got to do it. Our team has to bring it for 4 quarters. We are looking at a team right here within us that is quite possibly the best team we've had since 2018. 2019 was a fairly good year. This team overall, I feel like, is better than last year's team, better than the 2020 team as well. We just have to put it together. Fairly simple. Fairly simple. And when we faced them at their place to start the season, we played some really good football. Defense came out, hit them in the face, punched them in the mouth, time and time again. They were not ready for that. They were not ready for the physicality that we brought to them. We have to bring it again because they know we're coming. We know we're coming. We have to deliver the blows. And when they hit us back, we have to take it and say, give us more. Because we're going to give you some more too. I don't do predictions on this show. You guys know that. So I'm not going to predict anything. What I'm going to say is we have to do much better. Offensively, we have to be much better. Defensively, we have to be much better. Special teams wise, we're playing really good, but guess what? We got to be much better. Much better. We had to cut back on some of the costly errors and penalties that we've had happen to us. Just last week, we had, I want to say we probably had a dozen penalties in the first half alone. Far too many. Far too many. Took away some of our great plays. I want to say Joe probably had 2 touchdowns of his taken back because of penalties. DeMar Day, him and KJ2 hooked up on a great pass. Here it is right here. A great pass. All the way down the field. Probably Day-Day's best play of the season. Called back on whether you want to say it was a BS penalty, it was a right penalty, didn't matter, it was a penalty, didn't count. And then I go back to the drive where Olin gets knocked out the game. Adonis hits Joe on a beautiful deep pass. Beautiful. We get into Perry Meridian territory. I want to say like 30s to 40s, somewhere around there. And Adonis scrambles. Helmet gets knocked off. The scrum, Olin, referee, knocked down, whatever happens. Penalty, we get pushed back. We start to drive again. And a play that should have been a touchdown for Jordan. Why can I not think of it? I want to say is Williams. Jordan should have caught the touchdown pass. It was right there for him. He doesn't catch it. DB catches what was bobbled by Jordan. Interception. Don't get any points on that drive. Another play. We're up 30-something to nothing. A pass to Jewel Jago, who's playing wide receiver at this point for us when Keith isn't playing quarterback. Ball goes off his hands or his helmet. Perry Meridian DB catches it. 70 yards to the house. Errors like that we cannot have. We cannot have those errors. Self-inflicted errors will kill you. Will absolutely kill you. That's how Ben Davis lost their first game of the playoffs. Too many errors. Too many turnovers. We're better than that. I know we've had our issues with turning the ball over, but we can be much better than that. So if we're going to go out there and do what we have to do, we got to play much better. Got to play much better. Got to play much better football. Because our guys know what we're capable of, what we can do. We have so much talent on this team. And these guys know, like, we've gotten to this point previously and didn't make it happen. As freshmen, they got here, lost. As sophomores, they got here, lost again, lost at their place. Actually got shut out. Last time we went there in the playoffs. And really, we're on a 5-game losing streak to Center Grove. Haven't beat them since 2018 as well, just like we hadn't beat Carmel since 2018 before the season. Oh, no, we beat Center Grove in opening of 2019. So we lost in the playoffs 2019, twice in 2020, last year, this year. So 5-game losing streak currently. One of the longest losing streaks our team has had against any team in the last almost 20 years since we beat Ben Davis in 2002 after not beating them for like 8 years straight. So yeah, the time is now. The time is now. The time is now. All these guys, all of our seniors on our team have been waiting for a moment like this. Time is now. Time is now. You will never have a better opportunity to win than right now, because tomorrow ain't guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you have to take advantage of what's in front of you. Have to do the little things. Have to be prepared. Have to be ready when your name is called. Have to step up and make a play when a play is needed to be made. That's what that's what this team needs to do come Friday night. Because I guarantee you, it will not be easy. Because we're going up against a team that's won the last 2 state championships. So that's 5, another 5, so that's 10. They've won 12 straight playoff games. And going back to 2019, they made it to the state championship again. So they're like, what's that, 4? So yeah, they're like 16-1. 16-1 in the playoffs last 3 years. That's what we're going up against. And these guys know that they know what it takes to win those close games because they've been there, they've done it. So they're going to give us the hardest game we've had all season. It's up for us to answer that call. 4 quarters, that's what we got to do. 4 quarters, we play Warren Central football for 4 quarters. We are going to be in a very good spot. We're going to be in a very good spot. Just got to do it. Just got to bring it. Just have to bring it. All right, so that's that. I mean, I'm hyped up. You know, there's so many good things going on out there. 6A football has been really good this season. And for us to be one of the 8 remaining teams out there with, Brownsburg, Cathedral, Westfield, HSC, Lafayette Jeff, and, I cannot think of the 8th team. But for us to be amongst the last 8, and for us to be the last MIC team remaining as well, truly incredible, very special. And I love seeing these guys have that sectional trophy on Friday night and just the joy that they got from getting that trophy. Being able to say, hey, they did something that was very special. Such a great feeling. Such a great feeling. And I know that we do our thing on Friday night, it'll be 10 times more special. So yeah, very good. But that's enough about that. Let's give you guys some updates on our guys playing at the next level. All right. So, hey, we have some guys playing some big-time football games this week. Guys started off with our guys, Derek Allen and Quinn Scholler, up there for Wabash, playing some really good football right now. They won again this past week against Oh my God, I cannot believe I didn't write it down. They won big. It was against Kenyon College. Kenyon College is who it was against. Derek Allen had another big game. He had 6 catches for 133 yards, 1 touchdown. Offense that they've been really clicking. I mean, they've had 8 games this season. They're 7-2. 8 of those 9 games that they played, they've had 500 yards of offense or more. They had a 28-0 lead in their victory at one point in the second quarter. They just took care of business. The team stood no chance. This upcoming game is the big one, and I'm trying my best to get ticket for it for myself. It's the Monon Bell game, the classic. One of the biggest or longest standing rivalries in all of college football at any level. And DePaul is very good themselves. They're 8-1. This is a big game. It's probably going to be a sold out crowd, as it always is. This is going to be very big. Last year, Wabash won in that game. Derek had 60 yards on 4 catches. I know he's looking to have a bigger game, hopefully get in the end zone. So it's going to be a very, very big game. Looking forward to seeing that one this upcoming Saturday. Also on Saturday, I would usually be going to this game, but had to do an audible. Can't be gone all day, unfortunately. So NDSU, North Dakota State, travels to see our guy, Ramir Elliott at Southern Illinois University. SIU was on a bye this past week, but North Dakota State played at Western Illinois. They won 56-17, and in that game, Michael had 5 tackles, and his 5 tackles moved him into 5th place on North Dakota State's all-time unassisted tackle list. So he now is he's 3 tackles away from being in 2nd place. And if they go on a deep run, he has a chance to get first. Right now, like first is like 191 or something like that. If he has another great game where he gets 8 or 9 tackles and can go deep into the playoffs or getting that, he has a great chance of being the all-time leading tackler at North Dakota State, which would be phenomenal for him. Very good for him. For SIU, like I said, they had a bye. They're 5-4 at this week, and this is the first time that they will have had North Dakota State come to them since 2021 in February, where they played. Once again, if you haven't known FCS football, because of COVID in 2020, there was no football season. They played in the spring, and then they played again in the fall. So once again, most schools actually, had 2 seasons in 1 year. Unheard of. It was crazy, but they happened. And in February of last year, Michael's NDSU team rolled into SIU, went down to Carbondale on a 39-game winning streak, hadn't lost a game for the previous 2.5 seasons, and they ended up losing that game 38-14. Ramir just went off that game. He had 89 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. In that game also, Michael had 7 tackles. It was a tough defeat for NDSU, but they rolled back next year, or they rolled back in the fall season, played each other again. This time, NDSU won 38-7. Ramir had 14 rushing yards, 5 receiving yards. Michael had another 7 tackles. And that was a key game for them as they went on another deep playoff run to win the national championship and get back to what they like to do over there in Fargo. So it's going to be a very good game. SIU had started the season off rocky. If you've been watching the show, you've been seeing me giving updates. Started the season off rocky, but then they had a big win over Northwestern at Northwestern, and then they've just been, playing really good football. Last 2 games that they've had, been close losses. So I know they're looking forward to getting another big win. North Dakota State is trying to win a share of the Missouri Valley Conference because they lost to South Dakota State. They can only win a share of it. They can't win it fully, but they need some help, and they got to get this win over SIU to even have a shot. So best luck to those guys, both teams right there. I don't know if SIU is – I'm not exactly sure about their playoff chances. I would love to see them get in, but they need a victory like this. Both teams need this win. Let me say that. Both teams need this win, so it's going to be a great game. I'm sure the crowd down there is going to be rocking just like it was last time NDSU came. Moving on, our guys at Grand Valley State, another big win for the number one team in Division II. They just been playing some really, really great football. They won 42-14 over Wayne State. Damon had 4 tackles in the sack and another tackle for loss. Therese Reed had 2 tackles right there. So that's an overall great victory for them. They travel this week, last game of the regular season for them. They travel to number 18 Davenport, who was 8-1 in this game.
All right, guys, had a bit of a technical difficulty here. I ended before I could finish giving an update on our Warriors at the next level. And this next person has just been spectacular. Their team has been great. And that is our very own JC Merchant. If you don't remember JC, she was the first female Lady Warrior football player in program history last year. Was a great player for us on as a kicker, special teams player of the year, scored the game-winning point against Ben Davis last year. She's doing some phenomenal things playing soccer for the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. It's been a great season for them. They've been, their record is, I think it's 16. They won about 16 games this season. They're on a 12-game unbeaten streak, won 7 straight. They won the Horizon League this season, the regular season Horizon League, and then they backed that up with a Horizon League tournament victory this past week and a 1-0 win over Youngstown State. Congrats to JC and her Lady Panthers as well. Always good to see our people doing great things, and especially JC. She's been working very hard to get to the level that she's at. Very happy for her and the success that she's had so far. Continue to do some great things, JC. We love you out there. This week, tomorrow actually, Friday the 11th, they face off against Michigan State, and Michigan State is one of the best teams in the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten regular season title, and they went undefeated in Big Ten play in the regular season, and then they lost to Penn State in the Big Ten title game. But they are going to be a very tough team. But hopefully JC and her Lady Panthers are up for the task and go out there and shock the world, get a huge upset victory right there. So best of luck to JC and her team. And guys, like I said, this game this week is so crucial. It's so important. You know, we've been working all year for this moment. We've been battling each other all season to get to this moment. This is the game that we've been waiting for. This is the game on the schedule that we knew would come up, and it's here. And it's up for us to take care of business to make it happen. Like I said, our aspirations and goals are so much bigger than beating up on the Pikes or the North Centrals or the Southports and Perry Meridians. It's so much bigger than that. So much bigger than that. And we are a team and program that have been so much better than that. And for us to get back to where we deserve to be, we have to win a game like what we have to do this upcoming Friday night. We have to go to Center Grove and do something that's been very hard for our program to do and win a game in the playoffs at their place. That's it. We go out there, we play Warren Central football. We do that for 4 quarters. Then I really feel like we'll put the rest of the state on notice. Like I said, this game right here is one of the most important games of the last 4 or 5 years for our program. We're right here. The time is now. The time is now. There's no bigger and better time to make a statement. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you just listen to or watch another great episode of True Warrior Football. I am your host, Corey Kid Smith. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share this with all the Warrior legends, all the greats out there that you may see. And as always, Warrior Band, take us away.